Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and today I'm excited to be bringing you my Week 4 battle from Season 2 of the Pokemon Premier League, the PPL. Yes indeed. Now, today, as you may know, we are going up against my very good friend Alex, aka Onesie Banette. His links will be down in the description below. Do be sure to go and check out his channel and his links and all that good stuff. Speaking of things in the description below, if you did miss my team building video, that went up on Friday, which hopefully should be yesterday, if this is going up on late Saturday evening. So if you want to see a full detailed analysis of the team I brought and the reasons why, go down there, check out that link. That will be in the description for your delectation if you so choose. But just to really quickly go over the team that I brought. We have lead Focus Sash, 4 attacks Thundurus, Muscle Band Victini, mainly physical but with Energy Ball, mixed, mainly physical defensive Mega-Audino, a Choice Scarfed Scyther with Tailwind, my Assault Vest Miss Magus with some speed investment, and physically defensive Sandslash. Now, my opponent. Alex has brought to this battle Magmortar, Skarmory, Mega Altaria, Hariyama, Vileplume, and Staraptor. So, a few things to look at really early on. Firstly, no Nidoking. Really happy to see no Nidoking there. I was afraid of going up against it. I had contingency, but if Miss Magus went down, I would really have nothing to take it on. So I was happy not to see it. It's something that I just don't enjoy dealing with. However, he is packing the Staraptor, which is spooky scary. He is packing the Mega Altaria, going to be difficult to deal with. Hariyama, another proven thing in this kind of format, with the coverage to hit a lot of my mons very hard. I know if he's packing Heavy Slam, he can do a lot of damage to my Mega-Audino, so I'm going to kind of need to preserve Sandslash to try and deal with that, and or come in and revenge it with Victini if I get an opportunity. The Skarmory, that's an issue as well. I need no hazard on my side of the field. I have a big hazard weakness on this team, with 1 quad weak and 2 normal weak to it, taking 25%, those being Thundurus and Victini. Important, of course, to keep the Sash intact on my Thundurus as well, so I'm going to need Sandslash to try and take on the Skarmory as well if I can. Going to be a difficult one. Need to be scouting out what kind of Mega Altaria we're working with, but overall, there were a few things there that I didn't want to see that I didn't see. The likes of Nidoking, of course, also Ditto was not there. Ditto is another tricksy thing that I was not looking forward to trying to work around. But, as it is, he's brought still some of the threats that I was very afraid of. On the defensive side, you've got the likes of Skarmory, Altaria, Hariyama, Vileplume, no Uxie. Good to see no Uxie. You know, love using it, hate facing it, because it's very difficult to take down. And no Bastiodon, which is nice. I wasn't looking forward to trying to work around the like of Metal Burst Bastiodon, because that could be quite difficult. But as it is, you know, I think we can try and deal with this team. You know, I have ways and means around these mons. Victini is looking to be putting in a decent shift, hitting a lot of his mons very hard. So I'm going to have to try and preserve that as well as possible as well. So, with all that in mind, let's get right into the battle and see how things played out. Okay, here we go, the match against Alex. I am currently 3-0 by the way, Alex is 2-1. I'm going to lead with, of course, my Thundurus, as he leads with Staraptor. Now, even if he's Scarfed, he can't take the risk of me being Scarfed. He has to switch out, and he has no immunity to electric type attacks. So as he goes into his Vileplume, I'm free to go for the Volt Switch that I know will get me the initiative. He's not staying in with the Staraptor on my Thundurus. He can't take that risk. So, he is going to go into the Vileplume, as I said. I'm going to switch out into my Victini, which is fantastic. This is going to put enormous offensive pressure onto Alex, and we're going to have to see what he does here. Now, I kind of wanted to go for the U-turn, thinking he'd switch out, but Vileplume doesn't do an enormous amount to my team. So, with the risk of him staying in, I just went for the V-Crate. He does go into his Altaria, which is fine. It's not Mega, it's not going to get the defensive boost just yet. I go for the V-Crate, it does more damage than I thought because it is a crit. Now, this is actually very important. If I hadn't got the crit, he would have been in a much better position because at this point, he is kind of forced to go for the Roost earlier than he would have wanted to. What this means is that I get my free switch into my own Mega, which is Audino, as he is going to Mega up on his own. You know, he's going to get his own Mega off, and as I said, he's going to be forced to go for that Roost to get himself up to a decent amount of health, decent enough to be able to deal with my Victini. So I've got my free switch into my Mega-Audino, and this is fantastic. he's probably not going to want to stay in here, I'm thinking. And that's exactly what happens, you know, he's going to switch out his Mega Altaria and go into Kolarov, making the really offensive play. I thought Skarmory was going to come in here, but he makes the offensive play, goes into his Magmortar as I Mega up. And I think at this point I am probably just going to go for the safe Dazzling Gleam. That's exactly what I do. Go for the Dazzling Gleam, in case the Altaria wants to stay in. Doesn't do a lot for Magmortar. It's another crit, which is unfortunate, but it doesn't do an enormous amount. Now here, he is going to go for the Fire Blast, and that is going to do massive damage to my Mega-Audino. Magmortar is nothing to sleep on, as I do just go for the Wish. Now, I'm not packing Protect, but he doesn't know that. So what he's going to do is go into his Vileplume, predicting my Protect and then forcing me out with a potential Sludge Bomb. I, however, predict him to stay in, try and take me out with Fire Blast. I go into Victini, who I know can take that Fire Blast and get the Wish back up towards full. This actually works out really well for me because once again we have this Vileplume Victini matchup going on, which he doesn't want a part of. Now, seeing that he switched out before means he's probably going to switch out once again, go into that Mega Altaria, so what I'm going to do this time is in fact go for that U-turn, which is grand. And I go for the U-turn and it's not very effective and I get another crit. This one doesn't matter an enormous amount, it's not doing massive damage anyway, it's certainly not putting him to the point where he needs to roost again. So I'm going to go into my Thundurus and I'm just going to go for the Sludge Wave, no messing around, and this does big old damage, massive damage to Voltaire over there. He actually goes for the Facade, predicting the Prankster Thunder Wave from my Thundurus. Very nice prediction on his part, shame it didn't quite work out. And at this point he is just going to let his Mega Altaria go to another Sludge Wave. I guess he couldn't take the risk of me being choiced, not choiced, going into the Skarmory and maybe going for Stab. But now he's under the impression I am choiced, he's going to go into his Vileplume. I'm going to maintain the illusion of being choiced and kind of pick a Sleep Fodder. I figure that the Sleep Powder is very tempting. I'm going to go into my Mega-Audino to take it. Because Mega-Audino's at a low amount of health, it's not doing a huge amount, and the things it might outspeed, like this Vileplume, are going to kill it with its stab moves anyway. So I choose Shardino here to be my dedicated Sleep Fodder, and here he is going to withdraw his Vileplume, and he's going to go into Balamori, his Skarmory, seeing this is a time to maybe get up hazards. But I'm not going to stick around, I'm going to switch right the hell on out and go into Sorting Hat, that being my Miss Majors to try and take on any special hit from the Vileplume. Works out well enough for me, I might pack the Thunderbolt, he knows that, I know that, I do pack the Thunderbolt. And he's actually going to go into his Hariyama, hitting the field for the first time, as I do indeed reveal that Thunderbolt. And Hariyama's bulky as hell. He reveals he's not Assault Vest, he's Leftovers, but he still takes that very well. I'm thinking this is going to be another one of those physically defensive sets that he's enjoyed running, with some very nice success of late, to take on my Victini. So I'm going to go into my Mega-Audino just to try and scout out what he's going to do. Kind of predicting the knockoff, he does go for it, and that does very negligible damage indeed. At this point, we're going to be able to try and see what kind of coverage moves this guy is working with. And he reveals, after I outspeed him, which is fantastic, Mega-Audino outspeeding anything, he reveals he's working with a Poison Jab, which is absolutely fine. Heavy Slam would have done similar amount of damage, Poison Jab, just as nice. So down goes Mega-Audino, we are at 5 and 5, but what I can do now is go into something to really threaten him. I thought about this for a while. I was going to go into Scyther, but I thought, you know what, let's just drop the nuke. Go into Victini. Now, I know I can take a hit from this guy, but he knows he can take one as well. I'm going to go for the Zen Headbutt, big muscle band boost, and that's going to nearly take out the Hariyama, but not quite. Don't get the flinch, which is good for him. He goes for knockoff. I know I can live that because he's clearly not banded or life orbed or anything like that. He's probably a defensive set, I was thinking, but either way, I can certainly 2-hit KO him from this range and live the knockoff. So, I'm going to go for the second Zen Headbutt, that big Victory Star ability coming through for Victini. Down goes Adam Sandler, a nice little pickup of a KO for Victini right there. But what this means is that now in can come hashtag the Staraptor. I can't stay in here, and now that Mega-Audino's gone, I've lost a switch in. So I have to go into my next best thing, and that is going to be Pangolin, my Sandslash. And he is just going to drop the Brave Bird onto my head. And I'm running calcs here, I need to work out the item and the ability, the nature of this thing. And he does just under 100 points of damage. I think he did 98 points of damage maybe, or something around there. But after my Leftovers, it's a roll as to whether he can take me out with another. He can't take the risk. And I'm thinking at this point he is jolly choice banned. That's what I worked out from the damage counts. I go for Rocks as he brings in Skarm, and this is the beginning of a very pivotal kind of moment in this match. Skarm versus Sandslash is a very interesting matchup. and it's a matchup that kind of does more for the match than we thought it might. He's going to go straight for the default just to get rid of my hazards, because there's probably not a lot a Sandslash can do normally to a Skarmory, which normally you'd be right, but I am of course packing the Super Fang, which is going to take Balamori the Skarmory here right the hell on down to half of its health. After leftovers, he's back to around maybe 60% or just under. So I'm going to get some leftovers back, and I'm quite happy about this situation because it's just allowing more leftovers recovery on Sandslash to the point where it can definitely take a hit from the Staraptor. He is going to scout me out a little bit by going for the Roost just to see what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to keep going for Super Fangs. At this point, I see no reason not to. Just keep going for the Super Fangs, make him be the one to make the play. We'll see exactly what he's got for a Super Fanging Sandslash, see what he's going to be able to switch into. So, Sandslash is at a really nice amount of health. I'm just going to go for the Super Fang again. Hopefully he will switch out, but he doesn't. I miss a Super Fang, and he goes for counter. Now this was a huge play, and I'll go into details of quite why it was so big later on in the game, but just remember that play happened. I miss a Super Fang, therefore he does not get a counter off onto my Sandslash. At this point, I'm scared of going for Super Fang now. He's going to switch out and go into Kolarov, making a very good play knowing I'm not going to go for Super Fang again. I'm going to go for the Stealth Rocks. His play is twofold. He gets Magmortar before Rocks, and he doesn't take massive Super Fang damage. Good play on Alex's part. Very offensive switch. It's working out well for him. Because I don't really have too much that wants to take a hit from Magmortar, but I do go into my dedicated special offense check, which is going to be Sorting Hat. Built to take hits from the like of Special Mega Altaria and Modest Nidoking. He goes for the Fire Blast, and it does far too much damage. Modest specs. Massive damage. I don't have anything that wants to take a hit, so I'm thinking just get chip damage. Chip damage with the Shadow Ball, he's going to be able to land the second Fire Blast, and Magmortar is going to take out Miss Major. So unfortunately, Miss Major's not getting any KOs this game, but doing some nice chip damage to the Magmortar. What this allows me to do is bring back in Victini. And he has nothing that wants to take a couple of hits from this guy, let me tell you. So, I'm going to go for the Zen Headbutt. That is going to take out Collar of the Magmortar from there, so that's another big threat gone. This is a very back and forth kind of game. Pretty even stuff. But once again, we're left with a point where he can bring in the Staraptor. Now, here's where things are going to get interesting. He takes the Rocks damage, of course, and I'm going to bring in Sandslash. Sandslash is at far more health than it should be. He's going to go for Brave Bird here. Brave Bird is of course going to do over half of what I've got left. It's a clear 2-hit KO, we all know this. No two ways about it. But he takes massive recall damage. I get some leftovers back, and because I'm at a decent amount of health, this is towards the high end of what Brave Bird can do damage-wise, which means it's at the high end of recall damage for Brave Bird. So he goes for another one, he takes out Sandslash, of course, can't be mad about that, it was always going to happen. And he takes the more recall damage. So here, I bring in Bohemian, because as far as I'm concerned, he is jolly, banded, I can outspeed, and no! He's scarfed, he was scarfed all along, and I was bricking it, because I'm thinking, oh no, I've just balls this up terribly. Because he takes me out here, with the Brave Bird, but because of all the recall damage he took against my Sandslash, means I can bring in Scyther and kill him with a U-turn, because I'm scarfed. Very, very important stuff, because what it means is that I can then go straight into my Victini after this U-turn. Down goes Staraptor, and I have the initiative, because I've gone for the U-turn, and I can go into Victini. Alex has 2 Mons left, those being Vileplume and Skarmory. So, in comes the Victini, and now we're looking really good. It's the endgame, it's 2-on-2, but I've got the Victini. I've got that advantage. He has the Vileplume, and I don't care how physically defensive you are, Mr. Vileplume, you are not taking a V-Crate from Victini, not even a little bit. Turns out he was running Effect Spore on this Vileplume, so that was the good play bringing it in first, to try and get some kind of status off onto my Victini. Unfortunately for Alex, it's not going to quite work out for him this time. Down goes the Vileplume, and his last Mon is going to be the Skarmory. And even with the speed investment he was running on this Skarmory, at -1, Little Dun the Victini is still going to outspeed him. He was going for a Roost here just to desperately try and get himself back to a decent amount of health and try and bank on a miss, I guess. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. Down goes the Skarmory, and that is going to be the game. So, great game, really fantastic game, Alex. It results in a 2-0 victory for us, and the Parasect Germain Victini finally finally being the dominant force we thought it would be throughout the season, coming out with 4 KOs and surviving the game. So a nice showing from Victini. I mean, it's a difficult one, because whilst it was a very good game, clearly there were some very, very game-changing hacks that went on. I'm really talking about a couple of turns. The crit onto Mega-Audino, forcing it to go for Roost, that was unfortunate, because it put Alex in a position that he didn't want to be in. Put him a little bit more on the back foot, forcing him to go for the Roost, but he was able to work around it. The big one was Sandslash versus Skarmory, we know this, you know. And it's weird that it stemmed from a miss from me, because I was going, of course, for the Super Fang, and that was supposed to allow him to get massive counter damage on me. Of course, without that counter damage, it meant that I was at a massive amount of health, and I could take hits from the Staraptor, and then, you know, just kind of work from there and get enough residual recoil on him to the point where U-turn from Skarmory was the one that was able to take it out. Sorry, had to cut there. Another one of those coughing fits came on with a tickle in my throat. But yeah, as we were saying about that whole thing with the Skarmory and the Super Fang miss and the residual damage onto the Staraptor. As I say, it just meant that Staraptor was at a point where it came to 3v2, where I was able to take it out with a U-turn. The reason that was so crucial is because I would have had to take it out with Scyther anyway, and Scyther would have taken it out. There's no two ways about it. The problem with it is that I couldn't get the U-turn initiative if it had been at higher health, which meant I'd have had to hard switch into Victini, which just might have given him another turn. He could have done something. He could have gone into Vileplume, he could have gone for Sleep Powder, and things would have been better, and he probably would have taken the game at that point. Because if he had Sleep Powdered my Victini, or gone for the Scyther and then gone on the switch, things would have been different. Alex probably would have taken the game. So, another bit of very interesting hacks has sort of helped us a great deal to take this game. But either way, as ever, a fantastic game against Alex. He is always a fantastic opponent. He was a bit unhappy about the result, and understandably so. But, you know, aside from that, he was taking it stoically enough. It's unfortunate. He's now currently sitting at 2-2, but it's not like he's played badly. His 2 losses have been through things that are completely outside his control. Other than that, as always, he has been the consummate competitor, and he's played incredibly well. So I don't think this will set him back too much, you know. I know he's got tricks up his sleeve, I know he's a fantastic player. He'll be able to bounce back from this, for sure. But at the end of the day, that does leave Parasect Germain at 4-0 for the season so far, which is just the dream start. And now we just have to keep on going, and try and get more wins. Gonna be a hard one. You wanna know why it's gonna be a hard one? Pause. Because next week's opponent is someone I kind of dread facing. I didn't face this gentleman last season, because last season, due to, once again, kind of things outside his control, he had to hand over control of his team to a guest. That guest being Jedi Cardet. Now, if you were there for last season, you know what this means. You know who my opponent next week is. It's Ethan. Erasmus Gaming. And the Miami Rotom Heat. He is an incredibly tough opponent. He's very good at this. He is the lucky and bad god. So we are going to have to bring our A game next week. Can we do it? Of course we can do it. But I will leave all that kind of speculation until next week. As for now, do make sure you head down into the description to check out the PPL Twitter and YouTube, you know, as ever, for all things PPL, all your news, your transfer updates, everything you need to know is down in those links in the description. Of course, down there, you will also find links to Alex, Onesie Banette. Please go and check him out. He is a fantastic guy, great friend of mine. As I said in the previous video, he lent me, or gave me in fact, his spare 3DS, which allowed me to keep taking part in this league, you know, and doing everything I can. So thank you so much, Alex, once again. Definitely go and check him out. You'll be doing yourself a favour because his content is great, absolutely top notch. There will also be a link down in the description to my man AmazingChi. Shout out to him for helping me out by recording this battle. Check him out as well. You'll be able to see his battles, his stuff from PPL Division 2, and of course the Delta Lock co-op that I have going on with him. So definitely head over there to check him out. But that's pretty much going to be it from this video. Guys, we're 4-0. What a start to the season we are having. Can we continue it? You better believe we can continue it. So keep supporting Parasect Germain, guys. We are going for the top. But I guess that's pretty much going to be it from this video. So, thank you all very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. And I guess with that, I will see you next time. Laters.